Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, commissioners and staff, and welcome to the City of Paterson regular meeting of the Planning Board. Today is Wednesday, April 20th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. via webinar session. You may proceed, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Please rise for the flag salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the
republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay. Commissioners, Planning Board staff, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to once again remind everyone, if you're not speaking, to mute yourselves so we don't have any echoing. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as chairwoman of the City of Paterson's Planning Board, I call this meeting of 4/20/22 to order. I hereby state that all the provisions of the State of New Jersey Public Meeting Law have been fully and completely met, that the notice of provisions required have been properly posted in the Planning Board office and with the City of Paterson clerk, that the public notice and advertisements have been published in the Herald News on 4/10/22 in accordance with the law, and that the copies of such notice and public advertisements are on file in the Planning Board office, as is also the agenda listing the applications to be taken up by the Planning Board at this meeting. The procedures tonight will be in accordance with the rules, regulations, and bylaws as heretofore determined by the Planning Board at its office in the municipal complex in the City of Paterson. Roll call, please.
Commissioners, Commissioner Udine is absent, Commissioner Ahmed is absent, Commissioner Cleaves present, Commissioner Fisher is absent, Commissioner Liranzo
Present.
Commissioner Santana is absent, Commissioner Amar *6 and unmute yourself, please.
Present.
Thank you.
Present.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioner Roman is absent. Commissioner Figueroa.
Present.
Councilman Kalik is absent. And Chairwoman Northrup.
Present.
We have 5 commissioners in attendance this evening.
Thank you very much. Okay, notice pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act addressing effective coronavirus measures on the next public meeting, which is this evening, consistent with the coronavirus-related restrictions of Executive Order Number 107, given on Saturday, March 21st, 2020, by Governor Philip D. Murphy, the Planning Board of the City of Paterson will not conduct in-person participation of the public at all future meetings until further notice. However, public participation will be available by means of communication equipment pursuant to NJSA 10:4-8, commencing on April 15, 2020. Though there may potentially be a practical need for a limited number of administrative, technical, or other city personnel to be present in or near the council chambers, 3rd floor, City Hall, 155 Market Street, Paterson, New Jersey, in-person participation of the public is prohibited. Nevertheless, for reasons of compliance with the said Executive Order Number 107, public participation will be available by calling 973-321-1579, and the meeting ID number is 711-680-001. And I will repeat that later on during the meeting. Okay, on the date and time that the meeting is scheduled to commence, which is this evening, 4/20/22. The public may also participate in the meeting by accessing the website of the City of Paterson, www.patersonnj.gov, and following the email link for the meeting, www.patersonnj.gov. All right, so I don't know, that's twice I have that there for some reason, but okay, everybody gets the idea that you can also sign on. This evening, there was supposed to be 4 on the agenda. As I mentioned, I only have 3 on the agenda, but I understand from Ms. Barsboo that 2 of them will be carried, and I believe Mr. Mariconda.
Yes,
are you representing?
Madam Chair, I represent all 4 parties.
Okay.
With
And
respect
so-
to which whenever you wanted me to address first, it's up to you, of course.
I don't have their addresses right in front of me, so please
Okay.
go ahead and just pick one.
Okay, applicant 66 Montclair LLC, property address is 473-479 Preakness Avenue. This is a first listing. It was determined that this property is within 200 feet of the Borough of Totowa and Borough of Haledon. So we're addressing that by requesting a property owner's list for anyone that may own property on the other side of that border for relisting at the earliest possible date at the board's convenience.
Okay, Ms. Farsboo, do you have a date? Ms. Farsboo? Did we?
I think you're muted.
Sorry. Oh, it just muted. Now
Okay, sorry.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yes, Madam Chair, we consider June 15th for this, for the hearing for this proposal.
June 16th?
15th,
15th, as in 515, correct?
that is correct.
Okay, so June 15th, okay, and,
We would like actually so the applicant, because this is a county road, and the applicant is supposed to submit the application to the county planning board, and we would like to have the county board's comments beforehand. So hopefully by that time, before the hearing, June 15, we do have those comments,
Okay.
if there will be any.
Our intention, Madam Chair, was in view of this adjournment requirement to file the county application now. It's been my normal practice to proceed with this board and then address the county review. However, I think it's a good idea in this case to do it that way now. So we'll be doing that right away, particularly with the bordering towns.
okay, I don't think we need to take a vote on this, Mr. Acquaviva, do we?
No, we do not. Mr. Maricom, do you agree to all statutory waivers, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and we do have a date, so Madam Chair, this is effectively the public notice to all those who have been notified. I'm assuming, Mr. Maricom, that you're just going to notify the residents in the neighboring towns. You're not going to re-notify everyone, correct?
Correct, yeah. Once we get, if there is a property owner list other than the boroughs themselves, we will notify everyone on that list.
Okay, so Madam Chair, if you just want to put on the record that for all those who have been notified already for this meeting, they will not be receiving any further notification.
Okay, understood, and then that will close that one out, and I believe there is a second.
Correct. That would be Ryerson Avenue, Madam Chair.
Okay, that's the one I was missing, okay.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah,
My understanding, no, Mr. Maricon, my understanding is that there's not a date, an adjourned date scheduled on this one, correct? Right?
That is correct. We'd like to adjourn it without date. This matter came before you with an application about 2 months ago. We're in the process of doing complete remodeling of this site plan, and we're coming in with essentially a different use on the site. So we're not ready with that yet. I anticipate Mr. Romanek will be ready in about a month. So in discussions with your staff, we decided it was best to adjourn without date because we would have to re-notify anyway with the new plans.
Okay, so there will be re-notification, Madam Chair. We don't have to put anything on the record about that.
Okay.
And Mr. Maricon, they agree to statutory waiver for any time period?
We do, and we will re-notify once the revised plans are in.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
So this application will be carried to a future date to be determined for the record. Thank you.
That is correct. All right, so now moving forward, so you've already, Mr. Maricondo, you represent 3P 27 Thomas LLC?
That is correct, Madam Chair.
Okay, so put your name on the record, please, so we can move forward.
Yep, Alan Maricondo, office at 726 Market Street, Paterson. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so 3P 27 Thomas LLC, located 27 Thomas Street, Block 6709, Lot 12. The applicant proposes to construct a new 3-story residential building with a total of 2 residential units. The first and second floor will be occupied by a 3-bedroom, 1-family unit. The first floor proposes a 2-car garage, an unfinished storage area with a half bathroom inside, and an internal staircase to access the second floor. The third floor proposes the second unit, which has 3 bedrooms. The parcel has a lot area of 2,500 square feet. This proposal is within the R3 high medium density residential district. Variances are requested for the following: Lot area is 5,000 square feet of lot area is required and 2,500 square feet is existing. Lot width as 50 feet of lot width is required and 25 feet is existing. Front yard setback is 20 feet is required and 10 feet is proposed. Side yard setback is 4 feet is required and 3.1 feet is proposed from the eastern and western property lines. Combined side yard setbacks as 14 feet is required and 6.2 feet is proposed. Maximum building coverage as 40% is required and 50% is proposed. And parking as 4 parking spaces are required and 2 parking spaces are proposed. This requires site plan approval and bulk variances, and this is their first appearance. Ms. Farsbood, would you like to give us your review, please?
Sure. Property taxes and surcharges are current. Ivan Kabarkas, providing an address of 3 Paterson Avenue in Helden, New Jersey, is the sole stockholder of 3P27, Thomas LLC. The property survey prepared by John Butler and dated December 13, 2020, indicates that the parcel has frontage of 25 feet on Thomas Street, a rear lot line that also measures 25 feet, and eastern and western side lot lines that each measures 100 feet. The subject property has area of 2,500 square feet or 0.06 acres and is located on the northern side of Thomas Street. The survey plat also indicates an existing garage, a concrete driveway, and a chain link fence along the front and right property lines. Evans Architects has prepared a 2-page architectural plan dated February 5, 2021. Drawings SK-1, title of floor plans, indicates the site location plan, the proposed site plan, the zoning table, the lower level floor plan, the first floor plan, and the second floor plan. The proposed site plan indicates that the existing garage and concrete driveway are to be removed, and a 2-family, 3-story residential dwelling is to be constructed on the subject property. The proposed building is to cover 50% of the lot, and it's proposed to be 10 feet from the Thomas Street front property line, 25 feet from the rear property line, and 3.1 feet from the left and right property lines. 1.5-story and 2.5-story residential dwellings are located approximately 9 feet to the west and 3 feet to the east of the subject property, respectively. The existing dwellings on the adjacent lot and the proposed building will have windows facing one another. Vehicular access into the building is provided by a 14-foot curb cut. The first floor plan and the second floor indicates a 3-bedroom unit, which contains approximately 2,400 square feet of area. The proposed first floor plan indicates a 2-car garage, an unfinished storage area with a half-bathroom inside, a laundry closet, a mechanical closet, and an internal staircase to access the second floor. The first and second floors are to be occupied by one family as they are connected internally, forming a duplex residential unit. The second floor plan indicates 3 bedrooms, a kitchen, a living and a dining area, and 2 full bathrooms. An exterior staircase and 2 entry doors are also indicated on the second floor plan. One entry door provides access to the second floor duplex residential unit, and the second one provides access to the third floor residential unit. The third floor plan indicates a 3-bedroom unit with an approximate area of 1,200 square feet. This unit contains a kitchen, a living and a dining area, a laundry and mechanical room, and 2 full bathrooms. Both residential units meet the minimum floor area requirements. The second and third floors are cantilevered above the first floor, and they encroach 2 feet into the front yard setback. The front elevation view of the building indicates a 3-story building with a garage door and the building's entry doors situated to the right of it. The applicant proposes a bridge veneer and a vertical siding as well as an aluminum canopy for the front elevation. The second and third floors indicate single and double casement windows. The rear elevation plan indicates a stucco finish and 2 windows for the rear facade. The right and left side elevation indicate stucco finish and single windows on each floor. The building measures 30 feet in height. If approved, the applicant shall provide a deed indicating that the first and second floors will be occupied by one family only, and the building will remain as a two-family residential dwelling unit. The subject property is located in the R3 high-medium density residential district, which is intended to allow for higher density residential development, while still maintaining a small scale of buildings such as single-family and two-family residential dwellings. The surrounding existing dwellings exist mainly of older 2- and 3-story residential buildings. Variances are requested for the following. Lot area at 5,000 square feet is required and 2,500 is existing. Lot width at 50 feet is required and 25 feet is existing. Front yard setback at 20 feet is required and 10 feet is proposed. Side yard setback at 4 feet is required and 3.1 feet is proposed from eastern and western property lines. Combined side yard setback at 14 feet is required and 6.2 feet is proposed. Maximum building coverage at 40% is required and 50% is proposed. And parking at 4 parking spaces are required and 2 parking spaces are proposed. Thomas Street is a one-way street in a westerly direction. Various residential buildings near the subject property provide off-street parking area on the side and or rear yard. There is no requirement for an open space area for a two-family dwelling in the R3 zone. However, the applicant may provide a green open space area for the benefit of the tenants at the rear yard. It shall be the responsibility of the applicant and or the preparer of the plan to obtain a letter from the city engineer indicating that the plans have been satisfactorily reviewed prior to the plans being released to the construction official. This proposal is in the South Paterson section of the city. The area is zoned residential with neighborhood commercial located on Main Street, which is a major commercial corridor. Main Street is in close proximity of the subject property and has many local businesses, shops, restaurants, and other similar uses lining the street. Also, the neighborhood offers various types of dwelling units, from older 2-story residential units to newly built mixed-use buildings near the subject property. 941 Main Street is an example of the new construction which was approved on 2018 for commercial retail on the first floor and 18 residential units on the upper floor. In conclusion, the applicant estimates the cost of this proposal at approximately $150,000. The applicant shall incorporate the design standards stated in Section 400-2 of the City of Paterson Land Development Ordinance on the site and within the building. This was the staff report for this proposal.
Thank you, Ms. Forsberg. Mr. Maricondo?
Yes, thank you again, Madam Chair, and good evening again, Commissioners. We'll be calling 2 witnesses. I'm sorry, Mr. Evans as our architect planner, I should say, and the second witness would be the applicant himself to follow up Mr. Evans' testimony. I will indicate that this application is very straightforward. We're in full agreement with your planner's report to the board. We will indicate also initially that if the board does deem this application for approval, we would certainly agree with the condition of a deed restriction with regard to the first and second floor occupancy as one unit, and also that the building would be restricted to no more than a 2-family dwelling. So we're in full agreement with that condition. At this point, I'd like to call Mr. Evans at this time.
Yes, please do.
Please raise your right hand. You swear affirm testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please state your full name for the record, please.
Matthew Evans, architect planner, 470 Chamberlain Ave, Paterson, New Jersey.
And we accept Mr. Evans as an expert witness. Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Evans, can you, if you would, post your plan so we can go in that direction first?
Okay, okay, so these were the plans that were submitted to the board. Let me zoom out a little bit. This is there's 2-page submittal, SK1 and SK2. It's a little small now, but I'll zoom in. For 27 Thomas Street, it's an existing 25 by 100 lot, which in this area has many of those lots. I can zoom in. On our block, there's only a couple, but on Robert and Elk and the neighborhood, there's quite a few 25-foot lots. So this would suit the kind of house we're putting in. We've done this on similar 25 by 100 lots, and it's a little bit different, not much, but the style is a little more modern. We have the house, which is a 3-story, 2-family dwelling with a 2-car stacked garage, and we've sited it basically 10 feet off the line, and that gives us room also for the stair, and it gives us also a nice large rear yard of 25 feet. Going to the zoning, the variances we're looking at are lot area, pre-existing non-conforming, and then the front yard setback, 20 feet is required. There's a condition in the ordinance about reducing it to 10, but we didn't survey the whole neighborhood, so but that would be a condition. So we're asking for a variance on that. The side setbacks total would be, it's an undersized width lot, but we still have to meet the minimum of 3 feet at 10.87 on one side. So we meet the 3, but we're a little shy with 6.2. The house needs a certain width to accommodate people. So the building coverage, the maximum is 40. We are at 50. And then also the lot width, as I mentioned before, or the lot area, and then the lot width are also are pre-existing non-conforming.
Right, and we're in compliance with building height and building stories, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have parking, which is 4 spaces are required, and we have 2 proposed, the garage. It's a private garage for the tenants. And then it's in the R3 zone, which is a medium high density residential district. So a 2-family would fit in and not negatively impact the neighborhood. So,
and your indication, I don't mean to interrupt, but your indication at the beginning was there are numerous comparable lot sizes along these 2 streets, Robert and Thomas, some of which are occupied by similar 2-family dwellings?
yeah, most of the older 2 families do not, in the days when they were built, there was no parking created for these lots.
Right.
So, and they're very close to the front line, so there's really no way to park except for on the street. So we have the ability to provide off-street parking. And you could see on the site plan, we have the masonry dwelling next door is almost at the property line. So we are set back, 10 feet, which is consistent with many of these structures that have been submitted and approved by the board.
And as you indicated, the R3 doesn't require it, but we've got a nice area in the rear of this property for open space for tenants, correct?
Yeah, so we have 625 square feet. It's a nice rear yard. We also have drainage. We've added drainage, and so there'll be no runoff onto the neighbors' properties. It'll all be contained on site. And all the other improvements that are required by engineering.
Right, okay.
Provided.
And with respect to vacant lots, the zoning ordinance, how does our zoning ordinance and master plan look for the developers to address that vacant lot? Is this a concept that's in keeping with that general theme?
Yes, this is particularly suited for this type of structure, and it would fit in well and enhance the neighborhood.
And the idea of filling in these infill lots with productive housing is a positive concept in your estimation?
Yes.
Okay. Could you just give us a run through on the design of the 2 units in terms of their complying with square footage requirements and what some of the amenities are?
Okay, so right here, I can't get the whole plan at once, but I don't think you can see it all. But as far as living space or usable space besides the garage, we have 600 square feet of unfinished storage in the back with a powder room. And then we have the mechanical and laundry for the first unit.
And that powder room is only accessible from the first unit?
Right. The whole ground floor level is only accessible through the front door of the first floor unit. So you come in the front door, either you go down to the lower level into the garage or into the back, or you go into the unit itself for the public and private areas. So going up to the next floor, which both floors are typical, but by combining 600 with 1200, we have 1800 square feet of living space or usable space for the first floor, usually the landlord or the owner's apartment. And then we have the bedrooms. We have 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, and then we have, plenty of closets. And then we have a nice large walk-in closet or pantry adjacent to the kitchen. Then we have a nice open kitchen design, which flows into the living room and into the front bay area. And going to the third floor, basically, as was mentioned, we have 2 entrances. So those 2 entrances, we have one that brings us up to the third floor independently. And we get up to that third floor and we have an open railing, an open living and dining kitchen area on the upper level with the 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths. And the only difference on this one is we have laundry and mechanical within that space. So everybody has independent meters and mechanical systems to adjust.
Within each unit?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So then we go to the elevations. Then we have the front elevation, which would be looking from Thomas Street. We show the garage door. We have some landscaping, the stairs going up and showing you the 2 entry doors for the apartments. We have a bronze anodized aluminum canopy over the entry. And then we have a nice bay, architectural bay with vertical cedar siding or equivalent. And then we have nice large casement windows with transoms above, bringing a lot of light and air into those living spaces. We go to the left side, which is a little bit less developed, being that it's a side elevation, but we do have small windows, and I believe those are for the bathrooms. Let me just see. I'm sorry. Let me just go back. Yeah, so we have, yes, a little bit smaller windows on the sides. And then on the right elevation, also the same thing. And then in the rear, on the upper floors, we have large bedroom windows also for those bedrooms. And basically, that would be the essence of our application.
And of course, you cited earlier that the 2-family dwelling proposal certainly fits and is permitted in the R3 zone from a use perspective, correct?
Yes, and I would agree that, it would be consistent to, keep those first floor and ground floor unit combined and essentially remain a 2-family dwelling.
Right. And also our planner's report touched upon the nature of the South Paterson neighborhood and section of the city. And you would agree that there's a pretty fairly diverse mix of residential and commercial uses that proposed residents could take advantage of, walking distance and public transportation readily available?
Yeah, so we have the site doesn't show the whole block. It just cuts off about a little bit before it, but we're right between Main and Getty Avenue, so there's a lot of activity, especially on Main Street. And Main Street has a lot of mixed use, a lot of commercial, a lot of things that you can walk. It's very walkable. And then we have mass transit, which is on Main Street that brings you into New York City and other parts of New Jersey. And then Getty Avenue and is a little bit more subdued, but it has a good location for the South Paterson neighborhood.
Right. Okay, and then therefore you believe, notwithstanding the parking variance, this particular site with its close proximity to the South Paterson business corridor and public transportation should justify the parking variance in your estimation then?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
All right, who else would you be calling this evening on this applicant?
Just calling Mr. Ivan Kabarkis, who's the applicant, to confirm.
Okay, would you please do that now?
Sure,
Thank you.
Ivan? You have to put your picture on.
He's on twice, that's why.
Ivan, you're on twice, so.
He's on twice, so that's why you're getting a feedback.
Maggie, can you help him?
You want me to call him, Madam Chair?
No, Maggie's gonna get him on the phone right
I
now.
think he's on now.
All right,
Yes,
we're good.
okay.
Can you hear me?
He's on twice, that's why you're getting a feedback.
Listen to me, you hang up and go out. You're on our application twice here. Oh my God. Maggie, are you there?
I'm right here,
Okay, good.
trying to get him on the phone, but I can't do it if he's on the phone.
Hang up, sir, hang up. Okay, there you go. All right,
Okay,
now,
can you hear me, sir?
no, because he hung up and for some reason now he's off completely. So Maggie will help
Can you
him.
hit
Maggie's
star
on the
6
phone with
on
him.
your phone? Are you still on? You're off.
All right, he's on the phone, but he's got to hit the star, whatever it is.
Star 6 to unmute yourself.
Maggie, he has two devices on.
I see. Let me call.
He has to do
I can't do it
one.
like this. Hold up.
I apologize, Madam Chair. I tried to reach him, but I couldn't get through.
I think he's on with Maggie and she'll try to straighten
Okay.
this out because he signed on twice.
apologize.
All right, just hang on for 2 minutes, everyone, please.
Madam Chair, remember in the beginning, IT said whatever device we're looking at him on doesn't have a microphone. That's why he called in on his phone.
Okay.
All right, hold on a moment.
That's right. So they'll straighten it out.
Alan, if his testimony's not gonna be long, maybe we can try.
Very brief.
Okay.
Mr. Maricon, do you deem his testimony necessary?
I don't necessarily need it at this time, but again, it's up to the board.
If you're comfortable proceeding, Madam
Yes.
Chair, you want to open it to
Yes.
the public and proceed?
Yes, I'm going to proceed and I'm going to open this up to the public. Give me one moment. If there's anyone from the public that has any questions of Mr. Evans, please give us a call in at 973-321-1579. The meeting ID is 711-680-001. I will allow 2 minutes for call-ins, 3 minutes for questions. Okay, so I need Maggie also to tell me right now, is there anyone on the line?
She might be trying to get in touch with the app. Oh, there she is. I thought she was trying to get in touch with the applicant.
Okay, so while we're still trying to work with him, I'm sorry.
While he's getting on the phone, he's working with Ryan. I don't have any callers at this time.
All right, then thank you, Maggie. Then I'm gonna open it up to the commissioners, because we really don't know if we even need his testimony, so thank you for the efforts. Okay, so I'm gonna open it up to the commissioners. Commissioners, any questions of Mr. Evans? Commissioners?
Commissioner Liranzo,
Yes, go ahead, Commissioner Lorenzo.
Mr. Evans, so you're gonna have the first floor and the second floor combined, is that right?
Yes.
So how many parking space are we gonna have in the first floor?
We have 2 stacked spaces on the first floor, and which is permitted, and we are shy 2 spaces. So that, but it's consistent with many 25 by 100 lots that have been approved and built around the city of Paterson.
Okay. There is now, I think, the same person. I'm gonna ask him to please sign off. There's echoing. Please sign off. Yes, thank you. Sorry. Okay, just hang on. All right, so, in the meantime, did that answer your question, Commissioner Lorenzo?
Yes.
Okay, commissioners, any other questions? Okay, so I don't really think we need the applicant because there's no questions for the applicant at this point. Mr. Evans was able to answer that question. So I'm gonna go back to, Madam Secretary, are you sure we had no callers on the line?
No, we have no callers, Madam Chair.
Okay, then I'm gonna ask if anyone would like to make a motion on this application. Commissioners?
Madam Secretary, I'd like,
That's okay, I see you.
Madam Chair, before you call for a vote, I just want to confirm, the condition that I heard was that there would be a deed in perpetuity restricting the first and second floor units to 1 unit to be occupied by 1 family.
That's right.
And restricting the entire building to a 2-family residential home.
That is correct. Thank you. Commissioner Figueroa, please go ahead.
okay. So I would like to enter a motion to approve on the application of 3P 27 Thomas LLC, 3 Paterson Avenue in Haledon, New Jersey, 07508, for property located at 27 Thomas Street, Block 6709, Lot 12. I move that the board attorney prepare a resolution granting the following: site plan approval, bulk variances, deed restriction, city engineer, HEP Soil Conservation District, and the condition mentioned of the deed restricting the first and second floor units, limiting it to a 2-family home.
Mr. Aquaviva, is that correct?
Yeah, yes, that just, that the first and second floor unit would essentially be 1 unit, and then the entire building would be 2 units.
Okay, good. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Lorenzo made a second. Okay, roll call, please.
I second.
I heard Commissioner, I'm sorry, Commissioner Cleaves, I heard Commissioner Lorenzo, but thank you anyway. Roll call, please. No, you're muted. Madam Secretary, you're muted.
Gotcha. Commissioner Cleaves.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Liranzo.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Amar. Commissioner Amar. I'll come back. Commissioner Figueroa.
Yes, I'm sorry, it takes me long to unmute myself.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Figueroa
Yes.
and Chairwoman Northrop.
Yes.
5 in the affirmative. This application has been granted.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay, now.
Thank you.
Okay. Bear with me one moment, please. Okay, so the next application is for Pablo Villalona, okay, located at 342, 344 9th Avenue, Block 3305, Lot 2. This is going to be a two-part application. It's a subdivision and then a site plan. So the applicant proposes to subdivide the existing 5,000 square foot parcel into two lots. Proposed lot, I'm sorry, Mr. Maricondo, you're representing them. Let's just put it on the record, correct?
Yes, for the record, Alan Maricondo on behalf of Pablo Villalona.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the proposed lot 2.02 is to contain a proposed three-story, two-unit dwelling on a proposed 2,500 square foot lot. This proposal is located within the R-2 low medium density residential district. Proposed lot 2.01 requests variances for lot area 5,000 square foot required and 2,500 square foot proposed. Lot width required and 9.87 feet existing. Side yard setback 4 feet required. I'm sorry, I missed something here. Hold on. A minimum of 20 feet required and 9.87 feet existing. Side yard setback 4 feet required and 0.22 feet existing, and 2.20 feet proposed as a result of the subdivision. Combined side yard setback 14 feet required and 2.42 feet proposed, and parking 4 off-street parking spaces required and 0 off-street parking spaces proposed. Proposed lot 2.02 requests variances for lot area 5,000 square foot required and 2,500 square foot proposed. Lot width 50 feet required and 25 feet is proposed. Front yard setback, a minimum of 20 feet is required and 15 feet is proposed. Side yard setback 4 feet required and 3.0 feet proposed on both sides. Combined yard setback 14 feet required and 6.16 feet proposed. Lot coverage 40% permitted and 40% permitted and 48% proposed. And parking, 4 off-street parking spaces required and 2 off-street parking spaces provided as tandem. It requires minor subdivision approval, site plan approval, and bulk variances, and this is the first appearance before this board. Ms. Forsberg, would you like to give us your review?
Sure. Property taxes and surcharges are current. The survey and subdivision plan prepared by GB Engineering LLC, dated April 2nd, 2020, indicates that the parcel is located on the southern side of 9th Avenue and contains a 1.5-story frame dwelling on the western side of the parcel and a 2-car garage on the eastern side of the parcel. A chain link fence that is encroaching into the right-of-way is extended along the front and sides of the building and the left and right property lines partially. Also, a chain link fence is enclosing the rear yard between the principal building and the garage. A wooden fence is extended along the right and rear property line. The existing dwelling appears to have been built in the 1920s, and it is in average condition according to the tax accessories report. The lot has frontage of 50 feet on 9th Avenue, a rear lot line that also measures 50 feet, and eastern and western side property lines that each measures 100 feet. The parcel is 50 feet west from the southeast intersection of 9th Avenue and East 23rd Street and has total area of 5,000 square feet or 0.11 acres. GB Engineering also provides the location map, the zone map, the zoning table, the proposed site plan, and the details for the precast seepage pit. The applicant proposes to subdivide the existing 5,000 square foot parcel into 2 lots. Proposed lot 2.01 is to contain the existing 1.5-story, 2-family dwelling on a 2,500 square foot lot. Proposed lot 2.02 is to contain a new 3-story, 2-family dwelling with 3 bedrooms in each unit on a 2,500 square foot lot. Both proposed lots 2.01 and 2.01 and 2.02 will have a width of 25 feet. Each lot requires a lot area variance, as the minimum lot size in the R2 zone is 5,000 square feet and 2,500 square feet is proposed. Also, each proposed lot requires a lot width variance, as a minimum lot width of 50 feet is required and 25 feet is proposed. According to the proposed site plan, the existing dwelling to remain on the proposed lot 2.01 exists at 9.87 feet from the front property line, and the minimum front yard setback is 20 feet. The minimum side yard setback in the R2 zone is 4 feet on each side, and the minimum combined side setback is 14 feet for the R2 zone. This proposed law provides 0.22 feet and 2.2 feet for the western and eastern setbacks respectively, as well as a minimum combined setback of 242 feet. 4 off-street parking spaces are required and 0 parking spaces are proposed. The applicant has requested variances for all of the above mentioned for proposed law 2.01. The property report card indicates that the present dwelling on the parcel is a 2-family dwelling. Proposed law 2.02 requires a minimum setback of 20 feet from the front property line, and 15 feet is proposed from the ground level, and 13 feet is proposed from the upper floor's bay window. It also requires a minimum of 4 feet on each side, a minimum of 14 feet combined side setback. This proposed law provides 3.08 feet on each side and 6.16 feet of combined side setback. A lot coverage of 40% is permitted and 48% is proposed. 4 off-street parking spaces are required and 2 are proposed in the garage in a tandem arrangement. All of the above mentioned required a variance for proposed law 2.02. The proposed site plan indicates the location of the existing 2-family dwelling to remain and the location of the proposed 2-family dwelling on the proposed lot. A 10-foot drop curb is proposed for lot 2.02 to provide vehicular access to the proposed new building. Evans Architect has prepared a 2-page drawing dated March 26, 2020. Drawing SK-1 titled as floor plans indicates the ground level as well as the second and third floor plans for the proposed 3-story 2-family dwelling on lot 2.02. Each of the 2 proposed units within the dwelling will be occupied by a 3-bedroom unit. Each unit requires 2 off-street parking spaces. The ground level and the second floor indicate a 3-bedroom unit which contains 1,829 square feet of area. The first floor plan indicates a 2-car garage, which is in a tandem arrangement, an unfinished storage room with an approximate area of 488 square feet and a half bathroom inside, a laundry closet, a mechanical closet, and an internal staircase. The second floor plan indicates 3 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, a kitchen, a living and a dining area, and an exterior staircase leads to 2 entry doors, of which 1 entry door provides access to the first floor duplex residential unit and the garage, and the second one provides access to the third floor residential unit. The third floor indicates a 3-bedroom unit of 1,288 square feet and it includes a living room, a dining room, 2 full bathrooms, and a kitchen. Both units meet the minimum floor area requirement and they contain a bay window in front of the building. Drawing SK-2 indicates the elevation plan for the front, rear, right, and left side. The front elevation indicates an exterior staircase and landing to the front doors, and a garage door to the left. Bay windows are located on the second and third floors. The front of the dwelling indicates a brick veneer and vinyl siding. The rear elevation indicates a vinyl siding and a double window on all of the floors. On the left side elevation, 4 single windows are proposed on the first floor and 3 single windows are proposed on the second and third floors. The building has a gable roof and indicates a height of 34.3 feet. There is no requirement for an open space area for a 2-family dwelling in the R2 zone. However, the applicant may provide a green open space area for the benefit of the tenants at the rear yard. It shall be the responsibility of the applicant and or the preparer of the plan to obtain a letter from the city engineer indicating that the plans have been satisfactorily reviewed prior to the plans being released to the construction official. If approved, the applicant shall file a subdivision plat in conformity with the map filing law or a deed clearly describing the approved minor subdivision. The chairman and secretary of the planning board shall sign the deed. Also, the applicant shall indicate in the recorded deed that the first and second floors will be occupied by one family only, and the building will remain as a two-family residential unit. This proposal is located in the 10th Avenue section of the city, which represents a variety of land uses, such as residential and commercial uses of service businesses and standalone retail. The surrounding area is predominantly residential, consisting of older 2 and 2.5 story structures. Many but not all of the lots have some off-street parking available. In conclusion, the applicant estimates the cost of this proposal at approximately $250,000. That concludes my remarks for this proposal, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Farsbud. Mr. Mariconda? Okay, I think you're muted.
Sorry about that. Thank you. We're prepared to proceed this evening with this application for minor subdivision and approval of new residential dwellings. We will be calling Mr. Evans on the architectural testimony, Mr. Thomas Stearns with respect to engineering and site plan and subdivision, and the applicant will be available if needed as well. So we'll be calling Mr. Evans as our first witness.
Okay, thank you.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm testimony about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Say your full name for the record, please.
Matthew Evans, architect planner, 470 Chamberlain Ave, Paterson, New Jersey.
Thank you. We accept him as an expert witness.
Madam Chair. Mr. Evans, thank you. With respect to our application this evening, we are located in the R2 zone, is that right?
Yes,
And that zone permits the proposed new residential dwelling that we're seeking approval for.
yes,
Now that is being sought pursuant to a subdivision of an existing parcel with a two-family house, right?
yes.
Okay, so would you post your plan and we'll then proceed in that regard?
Okay, so what we have a two-sheet submission. The first page is the ground floor, second floor, and third floor plan. And basically, it's consistent with the last structure we did, same size, essentially. We have the same configuration. We have storage in the back, two-car stack garage. We have the entry only through the second floor level, which is, zoom in a little bit better. And on the second floor, you have the two doors for each apartment. So you can go downstairs to the garage or the laundry or the storage area. And then you have a large open dining kitchen design, walk-in closet. And then we have 3 bedrooms with bedroom number 1 has 2 walk-in closets and its own bathroom. And then that area would be 1,229 square feet with, I believe, 600 on the ground level, gives you 1,800, which meets the minimum criteria for a 3-bedroom. And that would go for the third floor, unit B, is 1,288, which is over the 1,100 square feet minimum requirement. So the third floor is essentially the same as the second, with the exception of a laundry and some mechanicals for that unit. And we have a large open kitchen, dining, and living room. The floor plans, the elevations are a little different, a little bit more traditional. We have a mix of materials. We have brick, stone, siding, stucco, and we have a nice double height bay window for each of the living rooms, which is over the garage entry. And then we have an L-shaped stair, which brings you up to those 2 entry doors on the second level. The other elevations are a little bit more simplistic. We have siding on the sides. And what else do we have? Sorry. So the left and right side are similar with windows for the bedrooms and bathrooms. And then we have the rear with just double hung windows for the bedrooms in the rear and the storage area. So that would be essentially the layout for the house.
Okay, now with respect to the existing home, could you describe for us what we have there?
I believe the house adjacent to it is basically a 1.5 story frame dwelling, and it hugs the west side of the property, and basically fits within that subdivision line. You know, a lot of these properties were originally developed as 25 by 100 lots. So many of the houses are either smaller to one side and allow a subdivision and another structure to be built next to it.
And that's also an existing two-family dwelling, correct?
Yes.
Okay, then we're not proposing any changes to that building at all?
No.
Okay. And again, that's a fairly typical residence in the area you indicated?
It's typical from some of these lots and these, throughout Paterson, really. I mean, there's a lot of these structures.
And those units are 2-bedroom units per dwelling unit, I believe. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Right. And it is, the applicant can confirm it, but that is an owner-occupied unit to the best of your knowledge, one of those units?
I think so.
Okay. All right. So at this point, obviously, we're going to leave to Mr. Stearns the analysis of the site plan as well as the variances. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if there's anyone, Madam Chair, for Mr. Evans at this time, or if you wish, we can proceed to Mr. Stearns, whichever is your...
Please go forward with Mr. Stern.
Sure.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm testimony about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Say your full name for the record.
Sure. Thomas G. Stearns III, STEARNS, 144 Jewel Street, Garfield, New Jersey, president of GB Engineering, LLC.
Madam Chair, do we accept him as an expert in this matter?
Yes, he's been before us before. I know that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Stearns, obviously you've had an opportunity to hear Mr. Evans' testimony, and in fact, you prepared the site plan that incorporates his architectural design to some degree as well. Is that right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, could you give us an overview of the site and what we're proposing there, Ben?
Sure. Mr. Evans, since you have it open, do you mind zooming into the existing conditions? There we go. Thanks. So this is my site plan dated April 2nd, 2020. We are on the southerly side of 9th Avenue. We're lot 2, block 3305. We have a 50 by 100 lot between East 23rd Street and East 24th.
I don't mean to cut you off, but can you enlarge this anyway or make it a little bit bigger? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So currently, as Mr. Evans just explained, we have a two-family, 1.5 story on the westerly side, which essentially hugs the property line. It's approximately 3 inches off the westerly property line. We have a garage on the other side, a masonry garage. It's a 2-car garage, and there's some concrete areas in the back. So our proposal to the right, Mr. Evans, we have the subdivision detail, if you can. Thank you. So we are splitting the lot in two. So we're going to have two 25 by 100 lots. They'll be 2,500 square feet each. And we show the subdivision line down the center. And then we can go to the proposed, which is here. So our proposal is, as Mr. Evans said, to keep that 1.5 story, 2-family dwelling in the same spot. By creating that subdivision line, will be 2 foot, 2.5 inches off the property line. And then we have our proposed dwelling, which will have side yard setbacks of 3 foot 1 inch on each side. We have a 15-foot setback in the front, a 20-foot setback in the rear. Just looking at the neighborhood, it is similar to the existing structure, the number 342 on the right. That's approximately a 10-foot front yard setback. So if you look around the neighborhood, that's what you'll find, 10 foot or closer, or maybe an average of 10 feet in that neighborhood. So we're setting our new building back a little bit, 15 feet. So you can pull a car in front of the garage before you pull in without protruding onto the sidewalk. So we do have a 2-car garage inside that three-story frame dwelling. There'll be stacked parking in there. I'll just go through so we also drainage on the site. There's currently no drainage facilities on the site. Everything runs off basically into the street. And our proposal is to capture the runoff from the entire footprint of our new proposed 3-story dwelling. So what we'll do is we're taking our roof leaders from that dwelling. They're being directed to the rear of the property, and we're putting a 1,000-gallon seepage pit in the rear yard that'll capture the runoff from the entire footprint of that dwelling. And it'll be an improvement over what's there now, since there's no runoff facility. As far as the zoning goes, I'll just go through briefly. So, like we said, we're in the R2 multifamily. As far as lot area, 5,000 is required. We're at 2,500 for each lot. 50 feet in width is required. We're at 25 feet. I did look at some of the surrounding neighborhoods. Within 25 feet, there are 3 lots that are 25 by 100. And within our block to the north, there are quite a few more 25 by 100 lots. So we're proposing a 25-foot width. Front yard, 20 feet is required. Existing building is at 9.87. The proposed is at 15. Side yard, again, 4 is required. The existing dwelling has 0.22. And then the proposed is 3 foot 1 inch on each side. Side yard both. The existing dwelling is 242, and the proposed dwelling is going to have 6.16 as side yards. Those are variances though, because 14 is required. So rear yard 20 is required. The existing dwelling is 52.25, and we're compliant with our new proposed dwelling at 20 feet. Building coverage, 40% is required. The existing will be 31.96, and the proposed will be a variance at 48%. Parking, so as I said, we're proposing 2 spaces in the new dwelling. There'll be no spaces in the existing dwelling, but there is, just looking around the neighborhood, there is quite a bit of on-street parking capability. So there are spots around in that neighborhood. Height, we're compliant with the height. So existing is 1.5 story, which is well below the required height. The proposed is 34.3 and 3 stories, which complies.
Okay, so that would cover the zoning analysis from Mr. Sturgeon's testimony. Madam Chair, what I'd like to do is go back to Mr. Evans briefly to clarify one point where I misspoke, and to also address one other modification of the plan that we had discussed with Mr. Deutsch and the staff. So if I can recall Mr. Evans a moment.
Yes, please.
Sure. Mr. Evans, if you recall, we had a discussion with planning staff in March, and we talked about the idea of changing the rear ground level storage area to recreation space for both of the units in the new house. And we agreed to do that as a recommended condition at hearing. Is that your recollection?
Yeah, it was something similar to having some indoor space that both the tenant and the owner could use,
right,
as part of the structure.
Right. So that would take the place of that storage area. The planning staff thought that would be better serve the 2 residential families by having some passive recreation space downstairs, right?
Right. So that could be used for both. So we added access for the in the side. Then the tenant could also access that space and they could share that space.
Right, so that was a more productive use of that space from your point of view, as well as Mr. Deutsch and Ms. Somas, right?
Yes, and it could be, you know, it's a benefit for both
Right.
units.
And I also want to correct myself in terms of the existing house. As per the letter of denial and my application, Mr. Villalona lives in the existing house. I indicated owner occupied. But as per the letter of denial from the zoning officer and my application, that's a one-family dwelling. That's a one-family on the current site, Madam Chair. I apologize. That was my misspeak there. So
right,
that's
so
where we
the
are.
existing-
We're looking to subdivide with a one-family and add a two.
Okay, so the.
All right, so I just wanted to clarify that. I thought that was very important.
Okay, so the existing house is just a one-family.
Right, and that's as per the zoning officer, he confirmed that in his letter of denial back in August of 2020, and it was also part of my application. So I made reference to two-family in my questioning of Mr. Evans, which was incorrect.
Okay, all right, so that's a one-family, and we're proposing this other one for two-family.
Correct, right, so we're only seeking 3 total units in as part of the application.
Okay, all right, got it.
So thank you very much for that opportunity. Tom, do you have anything else, or you would conclude?
Yeah, no, I'd like to bring the owner of the property, please.
Sure. Pablo, you're gonna be sworn in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
State your full name for the record, please.
Pablo Villalona.
Thank you.
Mr. Villoni, you're the owner of this property that's the subject of the application, correct?
Correct.
And you actually live in this house, right?
Correct.
Okay, and I did correct myself, indicating that you would live there with your family in a one-family dwelling?
Correct.
Okay, and so you're seeking the board's approval to add the 2-unit house as part of this subdivision. Do you have plans yet for the new 2-family, or in terms of whether you're going to move there or rental? What was your plan at this time?
Rental.
Those 2 units would be rental, you would remain as a resident of Paterson
Correct.
in the one-family house, right? Okay. All right, I want to clarify that. In all other respects, you agree with the testimony that we've offered on your behalf?
Correct.
Okay, thanks. Madam Chair, and he's available, of course.
Okay, so, at this time, I'm going to open it up to the public. So if anyone in the public has any questions of any of these witnesses, please give us a call here at 973-321-1579. The meeting ID is 711-680-001. I'll allow 2 minutes for the call-in. I'll allow 3 minutes for the question. 3 minutes only for the question. Madam Secretary.
Madam Chair, before we hear from the public, I have a question.
Yes.
Mr. Maricano, I just wanted to clarify, because I'm not sure if I got this straight.
All right.
The existing home is a one-family home or a two-family home?
No, it's a one-family as per the modification I just placed on the record.
Okay, that's
Well, my application delineated clearly a one-family. The letter of denial by the city zoning officer spelled out one family, and I misspoke because we're so commonly dealing with 2 families in the R2 zone. And as soon as I looked at my notes while the testimony was being given, I realized that we have a one-family on site.
Okay, but the proposed new construction is a two-family?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So, Madam Secretary, do we have anyone on the line?
We do, Miss Aranda Slappy, can you hear me, ma'am? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
Take it from here.
Yes. Excuse me, yes.
Thank you.
We can hear you, Miss Slappy. So I would like you to state your name and your address for the record, please.
My name is Rhonda Slappy, 414 East 24th Street, Paterson, New Jersey.
Okay. Your question, please?
No question. I just, I'm opposed to this development.
All right. Can you do it in 3 minutes? Tell me why you're opposed. Let's put it on the record.
I'm imposed. My neighbors are imposed because it encroaches on our backyard. This is a residential area, and we would like to keep it a residential area. And the value of my house will be absolutely diminished
if we allow three apartment buildings to go up in our neighborhood.
Madam Chair, if I can respond to
Yeah,
that, I would have
I would
Mr.
like-
Stearns describe the rear setback if he would, and we're not
Yes.
proposing 3 new apartments either.
No.
With all due
please.
respect, sir, I've been watching, and I've seen the outline that you proposed.
Yes?
And the outline is the same structure that apparently has been put across the street from us on 9th Avenue and 23rd Street already. That would absolutely it would not benefit our area. The lady next door, which is at 346, is a single-family home. And you would be moving 2 buildings right next to her. My backyard would be right in back of these apartments that you're proposing.
Okay, Mr. Maricondo, do you want to respond to this?
Yeah, I just wanted to have Mr. Stearns address the rear yard setback.
Sure. If I can,
Okay,
what's
please.
your
Go ahead.
address, ma'am?
414 East 24th Street.
East 24th.
I'm in back of it. I'm in back of the house that you're
she's on-
proposing to develop.
On the side, right.
Right, so you're actually on the side of the building.
No, I'm in back of the building.
East 24th?
Your house fronts on East 24th?
Yes.
Correct.
I'm just gonna check.
My back is on the backyard in which you're proposing.
Check right now. 414. I'm just gonna check myself to see where that is. 414
Yes.
East 24th.
Yes.
See where it was.
Also, 346 is the same house which is right next door to 344, 342.
Right. So we are, so just looking at, I was just looking at Google to see where your property is. So your
Yes.
property is on my site plan, if everybody sees my site plan, lot 6, which is the left
Yes,
rear corner.
exact. Lot 6.
Right.
It's right.
Right. So,
Okay.
so with respect to that, we are actually compliant with the rear yard setback. The rear yard setback required is 20 feet, and we're proposing 20 feet at that location. So we're only building one new building. That existing dwelling.
You just showed there was 3 buildings that was just shown. I understand that you were keeping the house that's there. I heard that.
Can I just say something? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I
ma'am.
will say this. What you saw was a ground level, and then 2 floors above it. There's not 3 buildings. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Evans. Mr. Evans?
That's still
You're
3
muted,
units,
Mr.
though, am I
Evans.
right?
No.
Excuse me, Mr. Evans, you're muted.
I know, sorry, I couldn't find the button. Yeah, that's basically a three stories, and it's the garage and storage on the first floor and services, and then we have 2 family above that. So it's not going to be 3 structures. We're removing a structure to put the new structure in, but the single family house would remain. So it's in keeping with the character of the neighborhood, and it's
No,
also
it's not, sir. No, this is a
Mr.
residential neighborhood.
it is a residential building.
You're going to
This
put
is
a
a strictly
3-story
residential,
building.
2-family building
But you're going to
proposed.
put a 3-story
Excuse me,
building in
excuse me, everyone,
a residential
everyone.
neighborhood.
Everyone, stop, please. The secretary is trying to take the minutes. She can only hear one person at a time. So you can't talk over anyone. One person at a time. You ask a question, that person will answer, and then you can respond. Okay, please, because we have to have the record set straight. I'm sorry. Okay, so, Miss Slappy, your
Yes, sir,
comments,
yes, ma'am.
please.
I'm sorry, but
Your comments, please.
my comment is I'm opposed to a 3-story building being put in a residential neighborhood. Now, do I need to get signed signatures, or what is it that I need to do? That's what I'm asking.
Okay, Madam Chair, if I could respond on behalf of the applicant with Mr. Evans' assistance, we are
Yes.
proposing a 3-story dwelling which is permitted in the R2 zone. We are not proposing 3 new units, as Mr. Evans' testimony has outlined. That ground level is going to be the parking and the recreation area for the residents, as we talked about with the modification, and it will be no more than a legal two-family. As a matter of fact, the planner and the board attorney will make that a condition as per the report, that this would be legally restricted as a two-family dwelling. So there would be a combination of the one-family house to remain and a new two-family. Absolutely no multi-family dwelling unit is being proposed at this time.
Two-family? I thought you said it was three-story.
No, it's two, excuse me, it is a two-family home. Okay, it's two, one.
That's there now?
The existing one family that's there now, and a new building that will have two families only. That's it. Two structures, end of story.
Madam Chair, if I can
Yes,
ask
please.
Mr. Evans a quick question, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Mr. Evans, what's the height of the building, the proposed new
Good
building?
question.
The height would be 35 feet, which would be consistent with it's a little under 35 feet. It's 34'4", which is under the maximum requirement for the building height for the zoning ordinance.
Right, 35 feet is permitted, and we do not even reach that 35 feet, correct?
Right.
Madam Chair, my only point is, I just wanted to address, it seemed as if one of the main concerns of the interested party, Ms. Slappy, was the height of the building. And I just wanted to point out that the height that is allowed by the city is 35 feet. So they can build up to 35 feet and not even require a variance. They're actually building less than 35 feet and obviously are not requiring a variance. And the building is 1.5 stories, also permitted in that zone. So they aren't seeking variances for that. The only variance that they're really seeking is a front yard setback and a very minimal side yard setback, but I do not believe that it affects the property that Ms. Slappy owns as per Mr. Stearns' testimony and what I'm looking at in the report. That's the only point I wanted to make.
And Mr. Aquila, you are correct that our existing house is 1.5 stories, which is well below the requirement, and our new house is complying with the number of stories. There's no variance required. It is 3 stories, Tom, correct?
Yes, it is.
Yes, okay.
Right, that's right. That was my point. It was 35 feet. The new construction actually is 34.30 feet, where 35 is required. The number of stories that is allowed is 3, and what you're proposing is 3. So my point is that there are no new variances being requested for height. The only new variance being requested on the new construction is a very small lot coverage variance and a 2-car parking variance. That's it.
Correct.
Ms. Slappy, is there anything else you'd like to add to your comment?
Yes.
Because your 3 minutes is
okay.
up. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead.
well,
Go ahead.
well, I wanted to, if the variances were not needed, and why was we sent letters?
Mr. Maricondo?
Sure. Madam Chair, I'd be glad. I mean, we had to seek the board's approval. This is a planning board application. We are proposing a permitted 2-family dwelling. However, we needed what we call site plan approval and some bulk variances, not the use itself. And we've outlined in the course of all our testimony, and I know the board attorney has also referred to a couple of those variances as to why we're here seeking relief tonight. And we're also seeking relief to subdivide the lot into 2 parcels, of course.
Okay, but that's what I'm asking. What was our purpose for this meeting then? Why was we asked to answer this letter? If we had a question, and we're questioning it.
Okay,
Ms. Slappy, this is Mrs. Slappy, if I can answer the question, this is Alfred Aquaviva. I'm the board attorney. You were notified because under state law, whenever there's an application before the planning board or the board of adjustment, everyone within 200 feet has to be notified. So it's a requirement that has to be met. Even if there were no variances being requested, if it was just what we refer to as a site plan, you would even be have to be notified for that. So everyone within 200 feet was notified, and everyone within 200 feet had the opportunity to appear at the meeting tonight. It appears that you're the only one that appeared.
I'm the only one right now. is there
Well,
anything that we can...
the meeting is going to be concluded this evening. So if anyone else is interested,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
they should have done exactly, what you did, which is appear at the meeting, voice your concerns, say what you have to say, and then the board will make its decision based upon all the testimony being offered tonight. You are the only person that appeared to oppose the application tonight. Unless, Madam Secretary, do we have any other callers?
Yes, we do.
You do. So my apologies, Ms. Slappy. There is someone else who's...
Thank you.
Apologies.
Okay.
Forward. I'm gonna have to move forward. I'm sorry. So,
Okay, no problem.
okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening.
Thank you. Who's the caller?
The caller is Michael Price. Are you there, sir? Mr. Price?
Hello, yes, I am.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Price,
Can you
please
hear me?
state your name and address for the record.
My name is Michael Price. My address is 284 East 28th Street in Paterson.
Okay. And your question?
My question is, what's the address of the current one-family residence right now?
I can answer that. That's, so the current address is number 342 9th Avenue.
Okay. And is there a structure next door to 342 9th Avenue right now?
There is. Currently, there's a existing garage there, yes.
An existing garage. Okay. And to the point that Ms. Slappy was making, with one of the gentlemen stated that there's not a parking issue over there, which is not correct. I was going to say there is a parking issue over there, but also where this structure is, these are all one-family homes over here. You may get to a point to where you see two-family homes inside of some of these blocks, but if you look 2 doors down, you look across the street, the bulk of the homes over here are one-family homes. And there's already a parking issue directly across the street from where this home is, and you're looking to build a structure. But also, where that other home was built, they built these homes right up to the sidewalk. They chewed up all the parking, and cars continually park on the sidewalk over there in those homes. So I definitely oppose that, because this is a neighborhood that's rife with one-family homes, and people are coming in and trying to change the neighborhood and build all these multi-dwellings. You're bringing in more traffic, you're bringing in more people, and there's nowhere to park as it is. Regardless of if you're going to put a garage there, there's no rule that the landlord has to allow the tenants to use the garage. But where that structure is, to me, that's hideous to put a two-family house there where that small garage is. It's not fair to the homeowners in this area. It's not fair.
Okay. Was that your comment, Mr. Price?
That's my comment. I feel for the other homeowner area, that's not fair.
Okay.
We don't want that in this neighborhood.
All right. We appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Madam Chair, may I just respond briefly?
Yes, please.
Mr. Price indicated he lives at East 28th Street, several blocks away. Is that correct?
That's what he said.
Okay,
Yeah,
on East 28th.
Yes, that's
Okay. I think that's all I have, Madam Chair, at this time.
Okay.
And can I make
Madam
one?
Chair,
What?
Can I make one more final comment?
Yes, please make one more, and then I have to move on. Sorry.
My final comment is, as the gentleman was questioning, if I lived a few blocks away, I'm one of the people that prevented his team from building a three-family residence over a garage on East 29th Street on the dead end a few years ago. And the reason why I did it was because this is a neighborhood that has mostly one-family homes. And we prevented that one, and I would love to prevent this one as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have anyone else on the line?
We have no further callers, Madam Chair.
Okay. Would you like to summarize?
Sure, Madam Chair, thank you very much.
Madam Chair, sorry. Before you proceed, I need to clarify two issues. I can just do it after Mr. Maricondo summarized the issue, or it's in regards to this the site plan.
Then you can do it right now.
Yeah, I would prefer that so I can summarize after, yeah.
Okay, so there are two issues I wanted just to clarify. The first one is in regards to the existing house that Mr. Maricondo mentioned that is a one-family house. The property card in the city of Paterson clearly indicates that this property, actually the existing house has 2 kitchens, and they're paying taxes for 2 families. So this is listed as 2-family dwelling in the city's property card, not as one family dwelling. This is the first issue that I want to just clarify. And the other one is in regards to the conversion of the unfinished storage unit to the community room. I wanted just to put it in the record, and if the applicant wants to convert the storage unit for the benefits of the tenants, to convert it to a community room, and then because the first floor is just accessible to the second floor. So basically, the family that lives on the 3rd floor, they do not have access internally to the 1st floor. So basically, the architect can just basically revise the plan on the 1st floor, create a door to the outside or something so that the residents on the 3rd floor can get access to the community room.
Well, we talked about that with your staff as well, with Michael as well, and he was the one who suggested the idea of that becoming recreation space for both units. That's a very easy modification, which could be a condition if the board were to grant a motion.
Yes, but it needs the revision of the architectural plans. We cannot just put a community room that the community cannot be accessible to the to the second family, to the 3rd floor.
Well, again, that's a very easy architectural modification for Mr. Evans to do. It was at the suggestion of your office only less than a month ago that be talked about at the meeting. That's easily a condition if there were to be a motion for approval. I don't see a problem with that. Mr. Evans, that's a relatively simple design change, right?
Yeah, so the window on the right side of the building would become a door, and there would be 2 doors to that rear entry space. So if the people on the 3rd floor wanted to either use that space or store, have it for storage, for seasonal items or other things, they would be able to bring the items and store them and walk on the side property line and bring it into that space there. So it's easily accessible. So basically, really, you're just looking at changing the door to the window to a door, and that would be able to share that space.
Okay, with respect to
I think I can address this relatively easy. Obviously, if the application were to be approved and this was a condition, then the actual modification obviously would have to be approved by our planner and our division director. So it would be subject to their approval no matter what. So Mr. Evans would modify the plans, propose whatever he's proposing, and then Ms. Farswood would take a look at it. And if she approves the mode of how this is going to work, then that would satisfy the condition.
And I have to also address the comment again regarding the existing house also. My notice did notify it as a proposed 3-story, 2-family dwelling on the property. I was relying on the zoning officer's letter. Your planner is talking about the property tax card. Again, the property tax cards don't always comply with the zoning officer's department, unfortunately. So I guess that's where that discrepancy lies. We did advertise it as an existing 2-family dwelling just to play it safe, okay? So that would be based upon what the property card says. The zoning officer called it a 1-family, so clearly there was some discrepancy or uncertainty within the 2 city departments about that. So did not mean to create any confusion, but to cover the applicant, we did advertise it as an existing 2-family. I apologize on that.
I just want to ask something. If I'm not mistaken, I vaguely remember we had a similar situation with that downstairs storage, and it was a very easy fix. You just put the door in where the window was, and it was done rather easily. Am I correct? We've done this in the past
Yes.
to another application, right?
Mr. Evans, is that correct?
Yes, I've done it in several applications, depending on what the board's feeling was on the application.
Okay. All right. So are there any other questions? Well, first of all, are there any questions?
Yeah, I wanted to stipulate, I guess I was in the middle of summarizing, Madam Chair. If you want to wait, I'll wait, so.
No, I never really opened it up. I want to ask one more time. Any questions from our commissioners? I never really opened it up to them. Commissioners? No, not Miss Slappy. I can't take you anymore. I'm going to the commissioners now. Commissioners?
I don't want to talk.
Yes.
Oh, I thought I heard you say something because everybody should be muted. Sorry, my apologies.
I have a comment.
Yes, go ahead, Commissioner
Um,
Alonso.
They're gonna be parking space in the rear of the house, right, Mr. Evans?
In the rear? No.
Yeah. Not in
It's-
the rear.
It's just 2 cars, stack parking. And just to touch on a couple other items is that, one of the people questioning the application and the what our operation is, the house is a standard 2-family house that we've done in many applications. And we are in our zone, we have a lot of mixed uses. We have garden apartment, on 23rd and 9th Avenue. There's an industrial building. So it's a little bit more of a mixed neighborhood as far as what's there now. And by doing this, it's in keeping with the zone and keeping with the context of a residential neighborhood.
Yeah, I saw the houses on East 23rd and 9th Avenue. It's basically the same layout that you have in there. There's one single family, there's 2 families and 3 families in the area. So I don't see no problem with them talking about that situation.
All right, thank you, Commissioner
Thank you.
Alonso. Any questions from our commissioners, please? All right, I don't hear any, I don't see any. So now I will ask Mr. Maraconda to summarize, please.
Sure, thank you again, Madam Chair. Again, we have before you this evening, I think really undisputed testimony about the nature of the application in terms of the size of the parcels and what the applicant is proposing. What he's proposing is a permitted use in the R2 zone. Certainly there are a mix of 1s and 2s and 3s as outlined by my experts this evening, but the reality is that this is a 2-family zone. We are seeking variances for lot size as well as some minor bulk variances, but we were very careful in our design to limit the height and number of stories and the style and structure of the units proposed to conform to the R2 zone. And we have no problem stipulating that this be limited to a 2-family home. We wanted to accept the planner's recommendation about the recreational space on the lower level in lieu of storage. We acknowledge that this is an owner-occupant here who just wants to develop another nice 2 units that for needed housing within the city. We believe the variances that are being sought are really similar in concept and conform to the surrounding area in many respects. And this is an opportunity to provide that type of housing that the city needs, particularly in this area as well as other areas of the city. So at this point, we would seek the board's approval for minor subdivision and to leave the remaining residential dwelling as is with no changes, and the 2-family proposed on the adjoining lot to be subdivided tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So at this time, I'm going to ask if any commissioner would...
Madam Chair, I just wanted to clarify.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Acquaviva.
The first motion, if there is one to be heard, is on the subdivision.
Right.
So none of these conditions on the proposed new construction are applicable to the subdivision, just so the board is clear.
Right.
Motion, if there is a motion to approve, it's simply on the subdivision.
That's right.
Would have the effect of the current home being on one lot and a new lot with no construction on it. There will be another vote taken as to the new
Site plan.
proposed new construction.
Yep, okay. All right, so would anyone like to make a motion on the subdivision?
This is Commissioner Figueroa.
Yes, please.
I would like to make a motion to approve on the application for minor subdivision at the property located at 342-344 9th Avenue, Block 3305, Lot 2. Am I missing a lot?
Mr. Acquaviva, is that correct?
Yeah, it's one lot that's being proposed to be subdivided, yes.
Got it.
Okay. All right, thank you. May I have a second?
I second.
Second, Commissioner Lorenzo. Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Cleaves? Commissioner Cleaves?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Liranzo?
Yes.
Commissioner Amar?
Yes.
Commissioner Figueroa?
Yes.
And Chairwoman Northrup?
Yes.
There's 5 in the affirmative. This application has been granted.
Okay, so that's the subdivision. The subdivision has been granted.
Now, Madam Chair, on the
We're
next
doing
vote.
the site plan in bulk.
Right.
Right, and I just wanted to reiterate, I heard 2 conditions. One is that the new construction, proposed new construction, there would be a deed in perpetuity limiting the proposed new construction to a 2-family residential home. And the second condition was that the proposed recreation space to be used on the lower level would have to be approved by our planner and division director prior to final approval.
Yep. Okay, may I have a motion on this application? Commissioners?
This is Commissioner Figueroa.
Okay.
All right. On the application for Pablo Villanova, I can't talk at this time. Villanova. I can't talk today. I'm sick.
It's okay.
I know. I actually know this last name. 342-344 9th Avenue, Paterson, New Jersey, 07514. For the property located at 342-344 9th Avenue, Block 3305, Lot 2. I move that the board attorney prepare a resolution granting the following. Site plan approval, bulk variances. City engineer, Hudson, Essex, Passaic Soil Conservation Service, County of Passaic, minor subdivision approval or exemption. With the following conditions that would apply. Deed in perpetuity, restricting the property to 2-family residential, and proposed use of the recreational area needs to be approved by the city planner and engineer prior to approval.
Okay, may I have a second?
I second.
Second by Commissioner Lorenzo. Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioners, Commissioner Cleaves?
Yes.
Commissioner Liranzo?
Yes.
Commissioner Amar? Commissioner Amar?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Figueroa?
Yes.
And Chairwoman Northrup?
Yes.
5 in the affirmative. This application has been granted.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you
one
for your
quick
consideration.
question. Commissioner Cleaves, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you have to leave at this time?
I can still hold on a little while
A little
longer.
longer? Okay, then let's do the resolutions, please. The applicants,
Thank you. Can I-
have a good evening, everyone, but if the commissioners please stay so we can do the 2 resolutions that we have. Thank you.
Okay.
Everyone else can just get off. Thank you. Okay, Al, you're gonna be reading the resolutions?
Yep, I just have to get on my computer first for a second. Hold on.
Okay.
1 second.
I know Ms. Cleese Commissioner Cleese has to leave soon. I want to make sure she's here for that. Thank you.
Just give me 1 second.
The 16th Avenue can be done first. So this way, Commissioner Cleves, if she wants to leave, can do so after that resolution, because she was present at that one.
Okay, great. Sounds like a plan.
Well, it sounds like a plan if I don't put my foot through my computer screen first, but. Okay, there it is. Okay, are we ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Read the one that Commissioner Cleves can stay for.
On the
See
application.
that?
Okay, on the application of 61 16th Ave LLC for the property located at 38-42 Pearl Street, block 4317, lots 14 and 15. The property being located in the RA2 zone of the 5th Ward redevelopment plan. The applicant is seeking site plan approval and bulk variances on an 8,972 square foot paved lot used for parking and residential use. The applicant proposed to remove the existing improvement and construct a new 4-story residential building with a partial basement and a total of 18 units. The board considered and approved this application at its February 16, 2022 meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Do we have a second?
Can I vote? Second.
Yes.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioners, Commissioner Cleves,
Yes.
Commissioner Liranzo,
Yes.
Commissioner Amar,
Yes.
and Chairwoman Northrop.
Yes. And now I'm going to let Commissioner Cleves go. Commissioner Cleves, thank you for your attendance this evening. I'm hoping next week, we're not done yet with the rest of you, but I'm just hoping next week everyone can sign on by about 6:15, and maybe we can get this ball rolling on time. So thank you again, Commissioner Cleves, for your attendance.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
evening.
Good
Feel
evening.
better. Feel better, Commissioner.
Yes, feel better.
You too.
Okay, so go ahead.
Okay. On the on the application of Alimi Builders LLC for the property located at 318 Dixon Avenue, block 5303, lot 9, and 311-319 Carlisle Avenue, block 5303, lot 12. The property being located in the R3 high medium density residential district. The applicant is seeking site plan approval on bulk variances to construct a new 4-story residential building with a total of 15 units, with the existing building to be removed. The board considered and approved this application at its February 16th, 2022 regular meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I second.
Seconded by Commissioner Lorenzo. Roll call.
Commissioner Liranzo,
Yes.
Commissioner Amar, Commissioner Amar. Thank you, Commissioner Northrop. Chairwoman.
Yes.
That's been granted.
Okay, so it's approved, thank you. All right, so our next meeting, Ms. Forrest, is Monday evening
Yes.
on the 24th? So,
25th.
25th, I'm sorry, I looked at the wrong day here. Okay,
We
so,
have two special, actually there are two projects for the
Right.
special meeting on Monday, April
Okay,
25th.
okay, great, wonderful. All right, so we'll see everybody. I want everybody to have a good evening, stay well, everybody feel better, those of you who don't. You,
I'm not
your
sure I could make it that day, Chairwoman.
You'll see. When we do the roll call. I hope you're doing better, Yvette. I hope you're doing better, everybody. May I have a motion to close?
I make a motion to close the meeting.
And I second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Be safe. Okay. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.